Get to our final topic of today's show after a quick word from Game Time. There's nothing like the NBA playoffs. The intensity, the buzzer beaters, the fans losing their minds. It's the kind of atmosphere you have to experience live, and this year's matchups are already delivering. If you want in, Game Time makes it fast and easy to get seats, even for the biggest games. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to tip-off with killer last-minute deals, panoramic seat views, and no surprise fees. Game Time is a total game changer. I've used the app, and zone deals we're offering 10% off exclusives for FIFA World Cup matchups in the future. I love that I can see the exact view from my seat before I buy it. There's no surprises. The app makes it so simple. 2 taps and you're done. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. If you're not following us on social media, what are you guys waiting for? We have a TikTok account. We have a Twitter account. We have an Instagram account. You can find those handles on the screen right there at Alt Sports and at Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Bull and Zach did an Ultimate Guardian show this morning. If you want any more Guardians talk, you can head over to our YouTube page and find all that extra Guardians content. And Jason and myself will be recording an Ultimate Cavs show that will air at 11 a.m. on Thursday. We don't have a show, no full UCSS on Thursday due to Tegna being off for Juneteenth. So we are going to tape an Ultimate Cavs show and air that at 11 a.m. It'll be an extended Ultimate Cavs show, so you get some brand new live content on a day where we wouldn't typically have UCSS content due to the holiday. So make sure you guys tune in for all that coming up later this week. All right, guys, it is time to get to our final topic of the day. And then if you want to get 264 ready, Juan Thornhill, former friend of the program, former Cleveland Brown, did his first media session with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in that, 264, and in that session, he had mentioned his anticipation for playing Cleveland. He was asked about the Steelers' upcoming schedule, and Thornhill said, quote, "I ain't got no issues with Cleveland. I'm not worried about them, but they definitely got to see me 2 times a year. I'm excited about the opportunity for sure."
Is he talking about when he was here? They got to see him 2 times a year?
That was the joke Earl made upstairs.
Yeah, oh, is it?
It literally was the exact joke Earl made upstairs.
That's really funny. I didn't know that.
My question is, does Juan Thornhill reach the caliber of player that any team would be worried about seeing 2 times a year?
No, not if he was the player he was when he was here. Like, why would we be worried about that?
I don't want to. He had a lot of injuries, and that sucks for him.
No, it does.
And calf injuries suck because they linger. And, it's a shame that it didn't work out because I think he could have been a good player. But there's a couple things that happened, like the jogging on the 1 touchdown run. He'll never live that down for his time in Cleveland. I have no ill will toward Juan. I've talked to him multiple times. I hope he could stay healthy.
Good guy by all accounts.
Yeah, if he could stay healthy, I think he could be a productive NFL player. He just couldn't stay healthy when he was here. But, no, he's not rising to the level, I think, of anything that anybody's worried about.
I think of when Joe Hayden left. I knew Joe Hayden had something left in the tank, and I hated the fact that we had to see him twice a year. Because he was a guy that could change the game with his defensive plays. I just don't see that Juan Thornhill is going to – we're all going to be leaving the stadium after they play the Steelers going, man, if it wasn't for Juan Thornhill, we had this thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
And these dudes, man, people be coming here. They be coming here. The thing that got me was I wasn't so mad about the injury joints. You know, the loafing on the field, okay, you know. All right, would you want to see him be running harder for that? Sure you would. The thing that got me was at the end of the season, he watching the Kansas City Chiefs playing, and he talking about I should be playing. What are you talking about, bro? You sound wild. You sound crazy for that, bro. Like, you know, and he a veteran. You know how this works. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs did not offer you a contract. The Kansas City Chiefs are a collection of other people. You play for the Browns. And let me add, you didn't play well for the Browns. So, like, stop trying to get on social media talking about like you was somehow snubbed in the way that you were supposed to be. Like, come on, man. You lucky you're with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got another opportunity. You should have been like, hey, man, listen. Hey, I'm just happy to be in Cleveland. Or excuse me, I'm happy to be in Pittsburgh. AFC North, I'm used to it. It's a tough division. Just looking forward to getting the season started. I'm not talking about seeing you twice no year. I'm glad because all them times you be back there having miscommunications, I hope you have one. Touchdown, Browns! And Juan Thornhill is looking around like he didn't know if it was cover 3 or cover 2.
We've seen that
happened
before.
a time or two.
We've seen that before.
All that being said, like the question that's on the screen right there, that wasn't a shot. He's not taking a shot at the Browns. You know, he stated a fact. I get to see them twice a year, or they got to see me twice a year. I don't know how he actually phrased it. Did he say they've got to see me twice a year?
They got to see me twice a year. And if you want to take 264 full again, this is the exact quote.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no problem whatsoever with anything in there. He's excited about the opportunity.
It is a fact.
Again, I think he's talking about the past tense. They definitely got to see me 2 times a year.
Well, we're going to get to see him 2 more times. There's nothing egregious in that. You know, when a guy leaves a city, there's 2 ways he can go. Thank you for the time, Nick Chubb. Very classy. Or you can be the spurned, bitter lover. And I think that's what he was when he came to Cleveland from Kansas City. You know, see his tweets before the Super Bowl. Man, I should be playing in the Super Bowl. Man, they didn't want you. Yeah. It's not like,
he wasn't wronged anywhere. He wasn't wronged
No, he wasn't.
here. He wasn't wronged
in
Kansas City.
And so, like, he didn't throw down the gauntlet and say, you wait until I play Cleveland. I'm going to pick them 8 times. No, he didn't do anything. He just said he's excited about the opportunity. I wish him well. Not against Cleveland, but I wish him well. I hope the man finds what he had in Kansas City. He was a very good player in Kansas City.
And might I add, we got to clean up our own garbage. Like, if he was taking shots at Cleveland, I wouldn't even be that mad. You won 3 games.
Yeah.
When you win 3 games, you own all 3 of those games that you lost 14 times. Now, all of them couldn't have been because you lost by 1 point or somebody was injured. You got beat 14 times legally. So
go fix it.
I'm not going to be sitting here like, looking for notes. I'm going to put the Browns cape on because I'm a fan. No one talks about. No, we should have been talked about. We were 3-14, and if you do not want to be 3-14, and you don't want people to talk about you and rank you last and laugh at your jerseys and all that good stuff, how's about winning the division for the first time since 1989?
And by the way, he's probably looking at the roster of Browns quarterbacks, and he's probably is excited to play this
looking
team
forward to the
2 times
opportunity.
a year.
He's like,
I've been looking forward to playing Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco too.
See?
Who got the better of the exchange? And I know it wasn't a direct trade, but Pittsburgh now has Juan Thornhill, and we have Kenny Pickett.
I still don't get to Kenny Pickett. I still don't. I've been trying to, because listen, you got to think about it. I'll be asking people. When Kenny Pickett was playing for the Steelers, we were laughing.
I know we were.
We were like, bring that guy on.
Yeah.
No, listen, Duck Hodges, he can play against
Now he's ours.
Mason Rudolph will smoke us. Listen, Tommy Maddox, we got problems with him and Cordell Stewart. But Kenny Pickett,
Duck
Hodges was nice. But bring us Kenny Pickett. He lost to DTR. We had like 100 yards passing. You lost to us. And now we have him.
Not only do we have him,
but
a lot of smart football people tell me that we really like him.
So this is funny.
We really like him.
And I'm sitting there like, this is wild.
So Saturday night we're at Dustin's wedding, right?
Yeah.
And Zach Jackson's there, and Zach comes up. We're standing by the bar, and Zach goes, "Jason, Kenny Pickett's not starting for the football team." I said, "Listen, I can only go by what I know." So even like,
Zach.
And Zach and I normally see everything eye to eye, but that was really funny. Zach's like, "Jason, Kenny Pickett's not starting for this football team."
Listen,
like,
everybody, I keep hearing these people that are regular with our lockdown guy on Friday.
Spencer German.
I believe he's number 1 on the depth chart right now.
I can't.
Again, it's early. It's June.
Jay,
I was saying that in April and May, though.
To me, I don't see any world where there is any upside, goodness, I don't know what you're. Why would you start Kenny Pickett?
So Jason, because I asked him this last week, and Jason convinced me on one thing: ball security. Like, what does Kevin Stefanski love only slightly less than his children and his family? A quarterback that doesn't throw it to the wrong team.
But why would I look at his stats? Well, I don't see that.
Here's the thing: 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. The offensive coordinator that he was playing under in Pittsburgh was so bad, if they would have held a vote for the least liked guy in the city of the history of Pittsburgh, he might have won. This guy, they wanted Canada.
Is he worse than Dorsey?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitively,
They hated him.
Definitively, yes.
He ruled the radio waves for 2 years. 90% of the topics in Pittsburgh were, when are we going to fire Canada?
I killed Dorsey when they hired him. I killed him all year. Canada's worse than Matt Dorsey.
And so here's what, and this is what I'm kind of holding on to, too, because Jason always has a way of coming at things logically. And when I heard that, okay, 15 touchdowns, that's an indictment. But only 10 picks, that's an endorsement.
I think they look at it as, I think a lot of things went against him in Pittsburgh, a lot of things that are known, maybe some things that aren't. I'm going to try, I may lay out some of this stuff over the summer.
Wait, now you're intriguing me.
Now, hold on. Now, there are some things. Listen, we get on what's the name all the time. Who's the receiver? The receiver that we just got from the Ravens.
Oh, Deontay
Johnson. Yeah. Well, there was reports in Pittsburgh that Kenny Pickett refused to go in and be in the backup in the game as well.
I don't remember that.
He came back from injury at the end of the season. They said, we're going to continue to go with Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
He said, okay, well, I'm not going to be a backup for that. And he sat out.
I need to
remember that.
I don't want to say anything more until I get more information. I just think there's a lot of stuff that went down in Pittsburgh.
Damn, you can't do that to us.
Well, I'm just saying. But I think that Flacco can't move, and he throws interceptions.
Yeah.
Kenny can move around the pocket. He's a little bit more athletic, and he doesn't throw pick. And I'm not trying to sit here and tell you Kenny Pickett is going to start 17 games and take the Browns. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's June 16th, and I think he's number 1 on the depth chart. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Jimmy Haslam, I give you permission. I give you permission to dip back in your 2014 bag. Find that same text message that you sent to the sideline and said, put Johnny Football in the game. Kenny Pickett starting 6 games for you is a waste of your 6 games.
You know what else gives me pause about
I don't
Kenny
think it'll
Pickett?
be 6.
Hey, Jay, real quick on that. Gee, I found the instance you're referring to. I don't remember this happening, so I'm reading the ESPN article.
I don't remember that either.
Pickett said he talked on Thursday that week. Earlier in the week, I guess it came out that he didn't want to be the backup. This is the quote from Pickett about that. And once again, I don't remember this. I'm only reading the tweet.
Yeah, I don't remember it at
I'm only
all.
reading the text from the ESPN article. Quote, I saw reports out there that I feel like we're attacking my character and how I am as a person. There was a lot of talk about me being the backup quarterback this week against the Seahawks in terms of being the 2. If I was healthy enough to play, if the trainers and coaches felt like I looked good enough to play, I was going to start and play. I suffered the high ankle sprain. I had not been physically cleared to play in that game.
Oh, okay. So that clears that up.
There was a lot of stuff that happened in Pittsburgh that I think is worth exploring.
Yeah.
That's all.
The other thing that gives me pause,
It'd be a good article, by the way, Jason, to do that deep dive.
Sam Darnold, when Sam Darnold went to Minnesota, it was a footnote.
Yeah.
It was a Kenny Pickett move. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And look what happened.
And I'm not even going to go that far. I'm not even saying Pickett's going to be the next.
No, I'm not going to predict that either, because that's like lightning in a bottle. Like you're going to capture that maybe once, but Minnesota clearly saw something in Sam Darnold that the Jets didn't see and Carolina didn't see, and it just boom, it metastasized on the field, and next thing you know, he's signing a huge offseason free agent contract.
And frankly, Minnesota might have got a little lucky with that, because you just don't know when these
guys,
because
he regressed in the playoffs, right?
And frankly, like, the Browns have some work to do with Kenny. They got to rebuild some confidence here. I think Pittsburgh sort of destroyed him a little bit, and I don't know that you're in Philly. really did anything to rebuild. He was a backup.
Watched.
Yeah, he
He watched.
So I think that there's some cleaning up that has to be done from a confidence level, mentally, all that. But again,
If it happens,
it's
great.
It's just biding time until the younger guys are ready. Because I've said it, I'll keep saying it. I believe Shedeur Sanders should play more games than any other quarterback on this roster this year, because he's the only guy that I look at and say they might have something here. Because I'm telling you right now, they left night 1 of the draft saying we are taking our quarterback next year. So it's on Shedeur or Dylan or Kenny, probably not Joe,
to change their mind.
To change their mind on
But
it.
you got to find out. You've got to find out.
Yeah.
I think you have to find out with Dylan Gabriel too.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to listen. If we're not going to be playing no 10, 12 games with the 40+ crew, and then get to the end of the season and be like, well, he played two good games.
No.
And it was 2 games that no.
If Joe Flacco plays 10+ games, they're drafting a quarterback next year in the first round.
Yeah.
Period.
You got all these doggone games,
Also,
right?
because not just because he didn't get on the field, but why he didn't.
Get on the field? Why they chose to play Joe?
If he couldn't beat out a 40-year-old Joe Flacco who can't move,
they're taking a quarterback.
They're taking a quarterback next year.
You've used this expression before. I think it's the perfect way to explain the Browns quarterback situation. If you got to squint, you know your answer.
You got to look
If
up.
you got to squint at any of these guys looking ahead.
If you got to talk yourself into it.
Yeah.
And if you and this is why, if you want to play them, they're going to have a big problem if this happens. If you're going to say the whole year it's a competition, and then you plan on playing the veteran guys, that's fine. But you better be playing the rookies during these preseason games then.
Every snap.
I don't care. If you're going to do that, don't lie and say it's going to be a competition, because here's what happens. Coaches sometimes don't do themselves any justice. If you don't give him reps, right, and you don't give the young guys reps, and you trot Pickett out here, how much cachet do you think Kenny Pickett has with anybody in this locker room?
None.
And anybody in the city?
None.
The second he throws a check down or interception, there's going to be loud and proud. Boo, boo, boo. Either give me Flacco, because we know him, or one of these young guys. So, look, if you don't play him at all and no one really gets to see him, Jay, like, oh, we're going to play him. Yeah, they play a little bit in the inter-squad scrimmages. No, you have to play them where your fan base sees them. Because if you don't, they're going to make it up in their mind. At least give people an opportunity to see with their own eyes, because if not, they're going to make up their own narrative and say, this is why this happened and this person didn't play or that person didn't play.
I would even go so far, guys, as to say that is the number one objective and priority of 2025.
100%. It's fine. Quarterback.
It's not winning games. It's find out whether or not your quarterback of the future is currently on the roster. Because if it's not, you wash, rinse, and repeat next year.
I've said that before, and that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that matters this year. You're not winning the Super Bowl. You're more than likely not going to the playoffs. If you want any sort of production to come out of the season, is there a quarterback on this roster moving forward that you think you can win with? And if there's not, you got to go find one in the draft.
But you have to find out. You know, we keep saying, well, we're going to find out. We're going to see. We got to see. Put them out there and let us see.
And in terms of the fans booing they're used to the fans booing the quarterback around here. He got booed all last year.
That's part of the job,
right?
When they place the ad in the magazine where they're looking for a quarterback, somewhere in the write-up it says must have extremely thick skin and thin ears, small ears where you can't hear.
We got super chats to wrap up today's show. First, a shout out to Sly, who gifted 20 memberships. We appreciate you, Sly.
Nice.
Very generous of you this morning. Reggie the Bug Glover says, I will say it until the day I die. If you throw the rookies in too soon, you doom them to repeat the past Browns quarterback history. Please
a lot of people
be
think that.
patient with them.
A lot of people think that.
You can't listen. Let's start this. Let's stop this. Here's what you want to see out of a franchise quarterback. Do you got it or not? Yeah. Sometimes.
But do you think that there is a situation where you do play a guy too soon?
It could be.
Of
course there is.
Okay.
But sometimes you in a catch-22, and a rookie could be in a catch-22. Do you want more reps or less reps? Because the longer you wait, the less window you have to prove what you can do.
That also intimates that there's no value to watching.
But here's the thing. Everything in that chat that he said is 100% true.
Yes. Two things can be true at once.
The Browns, number one, don't have the luxury of time. You have 1 year because they are going to take a quarterback at the top of the draft next year.
Yeah.
under these current circumstances. So that leaves you 1 year. And second, if you don't take a quarterback in the 3rd and 5th round if you think he's the quarterback of the future. If you think he's the quarterback of the future, you take him in the 1st round. Well, the fact that they didn't tells you that they don't think these guys are, and it's on them to prove them wrong.
Right.
And they will have ample opportunities this year to do that.
That's the point. If you, as a coach, it's your job to turn over every stone. And you can't just say, I think he's not good and don't play him on the field. You have to at least give a guy an opportunity to prove what it is.
There is an unwritten future headline that looks like this. Browns wreck Sanders by throwing him to wolves too soon.
Hey.
Like, that's happened. We've done it.
Well,
and we're familiar with that headline. But so that also is a possibility.
The next and last Super Chat plays along those lines. So let me read it, then we can finish this discussion. But Chantel Penton says, I have a question for you guys. How does Denzel Ward know how good Shedeur plays unless Shedeur played against the ones
I wondered that too.
Isn't there?
Well, he's watching.
Because
he didn't go against Shedeur Sanders, but when Shedeur Sanders was on the field, he was not.
There's a lot of time for these guys to stand around.
Yeah.
Especially guys like the ones aren't taking every rep. There's a lot of times where the ones are standing on the side.
Yeah, he got to watch.
Is there a world, Kevin Stefanski, we believe him sometimes, but sometimes we don't want to. He says every single day, do not read too much into the reps that are being given out with the first team. He says it every day. Yep. Now, I don't know if we're at every practice. Could Shedeur be receiving first team reps at practice when the doors are closed? Sure. I don't know that.
I tend to think he's not.
Well, they've said he's not. They said that he hasn't. Now, why are they truthful? I don't think they have any reason to lie about that. But to what I said earlier in the show, there's a method to their madness. If he's not seeing time against the ones, and he's not, there is a reason for that.
Right.
Kevin hasn't shared that reason, but there is a definitive reason why they went out of their way to make sure all of the quarterbacks but Shedeur got reps against the one.
So when they put him in, he has the runway is clear.